I am here today with amazing local Toronto artist, Anna Church. I have to say she's my favorite artist in the city, probably in Canada actually. And we are at her home today shooting some exciting content for Paris at Home, the McKenna makeover. A little bit different than the regular content we shoot. We did some fun fashion stuff today. Anna saw some behind the scenes. So I am just gonna take you guys on a little tour of Anna's space. This is also a rental, is it not?
Yes, it's. I've turned the home into like a production rental space for people to come in like you and spin your own magic in it.
Totally, and I mean, I would love to say that I designed this space, but I did not. Who designed it?
Me.
Okay, so you're also an interior designer extraordinaire. We're gonna take you guys through so you can see how beautiful this space is. It's so perfect for content shoots, movies, TV, commercials, anything like that. And honestly, it's just fun to come and hang out here too. This episode is gonna be a little bit different. As you can tell, we're in a beautiful space. We did not want to shoot at the Paris at Home because nothing has really changed since the last time you saw us there. So when I'm designing homes for my clients, it takes usually about 6 to 8 weeks for the whole design plan to come together. When I'm designing for myself, even though I do feel like I can make decisions relatively easily, it works in a little bit of a different style. The process, as I've mentioned before, is a lot more iterative for me. I play around with things, put them into the vision board, take them out if I don't think that they feel right. I've probably gone back and forth on 20 different pendant options for over the island in the kitchen, and I finally landed on the perfect ones. But it does take me a little bit more time to pull the entire design plan together, mainly because I'm working on my beautiful client homes, but I do really like to sit with the decisions that I'm making and see how I think that they're going to translate over time. So we have finished selecting the absolutely beautiful fixtures. We've got a lot of the House of Roll products that are coming into this home, which I really love. They're absolutely amazing brand, and the finishes on these fixtures are going to be just beautiful. I am in the process now of finalizing all of the lighting in the home, which is going to be a mix of flush mounts, pendants, chandeliers, everything. You guys have heard me say it before, I do not like pot lights if I can help it, so there are no pot lights going in this house except for in the basement. Coming up after the lighting is going to be all of the furniture selections and procurement. So right now I am planning out how I want to lay out each of the different rooms. Typically for bedrooms, I like to put wall sconces on either side of the bed. I've actually opted against that for the kids' rooms, and that's because I do think that they're little now and they've got small beds, and over time those beds are gonna get bigger. They may wanna reorient the way that their rooms are laid out, and so I've actually decided against putting sconces into the kids' rooms. I'm gonna do nightstands with lamps on each side, which means that I can actually just modify the layout of their rooms if needed when they grow up. I am doing wallpaper though in both of their rooms. My daughter's room is going to be incredible. We put an amazing House of Hackney print into her room at the cottage. I'm also doing a House of Hackney print in her bedroom here. We're doing the same fabric as the wallpaper print for drapery, which is going to just be so impactful, and I'm so excited. She kind of had the same options presented to her as we did at the cottage. I gave her 3 choices to pick from and really kind of geared her towards the one that I wanted, and she was super in love with it. So luckily my 5-year-old is a future interior designer and can see the beauty in the things that might otherwise kind of shock people. In one of my recent reels, I actually asked you guys for some help on selecting the bathroom floor tile for the bathroom where I'm putting those vintage Facebook Marketplace tiles in. I knew exactly what I wanted the walls to look like, but I had 4 options to go through to pick the floor for that bathroom. So I had the vintage white penny rounds, I had kind of like a sky blue penny round, some light-ish greeny white 2x2 mosaics, and then also this like deep moody burgundy color. I wasn't that surprised to hear what the majority of you guys thought, because I was actually leaning towards the blue or the white penny round as well. Danzin Z says green or burgundy for sure. I actually am with you now, Danzin Z. I brought all of those samples with me to one of our team lunches because while it is me as kind of the face of the business and the principal designer, I have an incredible team behind me, and I absolutely love being able to bounce my ideas off of the rest of my team. So we were going for a team lunch. I had my Facebook tiles with me. I had the blue tiles from Creekside that I was going to do on the walls in the shower, and I brought all 4 options with me. I asked my team for their input, and we actually all together landed on the beautiful Ming green tiles from Sircan Tile. They're actually the same ones that I'm putting in the primary bathroom on the shower walls, but they're in a different size, and that's what I'm gonna do on the basement shower floor. Behind all of the beautiful projects that you see is a team of incredibly talented women who, honestly, it might sound cliche, but I really couldn't do what I do without them. So we have 2 senior designers on our team. We've got Kimberly and Dana. They're both so wonderful. They both have actually different skill sets in terms of strengths and the things that they are really wonderful at bringing to the table. They lead our projects day to day, so they're the ones who are sort of boots on the ground running these projects. I act as the creative director, so I am the one who determines what the overall design direction is for a home with their input, and really kind of ensure that the product that we're putting out there and the experience that we're putting out there meets the standards that I sort of expect our company to be putting out there in the world. So we've also got Ariel, who works as a designer on our team. She handles the sourcing elements of things. She also puts together all of our presentations and really makes sure that everything is going out looking as perfect as it can. Then we've got Tanya. She was actually my very first hire. She started as a client and then became my very first employee. So really didn't question kind of who my first hire was going to be in terms of the role. I went to design camp hosted by Anastasia Casey and Lindsay Brooke Design. And they talk a lot about how to hire, who to hire, salaries, processes, all of those things. But what I found really important from going to design camp in my second month of running my own business was that I felt immediately clear on who my first hire should be. So that was somebody who I wanted to handle all of the procurement, all of the administrative items on the team, because I can do the design. I can't get bogged down with the kind of back end things that are needed when you are putting a renovation into place. And then we have Cece. Cece is wonderful. She handles all of our bookkeeping, all of our back end things. Again, it's all of these different components that are needed to create this whole that allow our projects to run the way that they do. And we've just finished our 3rd year of business, which is crazy. I started the company in October of 2021. I wrote a list of goals this January for things that I wanted to accomplish in 2024. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you the goals that I wrote for myself and for the company on social, aka Instagram. I wanted to get to 7,500 followers by December 31st. This was before we launched Paris at Home. I am very happy to say that within 1 week of launching Paris at Home on YouTube and sharing it to Instagram, we blew that 7,500 out of the water. I am so grateful to you guys for following along, for being interested in this series. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you don't already, definitely subscribe. If your friends don't subscribe, get them to subscribe. I wrote a goal of wanting to get into 1 to 2 print publications this year. In January, I had no idea that I was going to get into both Rue Magazine and House and Home Magazine this year. I got an 8-page spread in the summer issue of Rue Magazine featuring Bar Lock-In, and I got a beautiful 2-page spread in House and Home. When it comes to House and Home being in print, I mean, I grew up reading that magazine, seeing myself in there. I had so many people texting me and reaching out, even to my mom, saying, saw Paris in the magazine. It's so cool. And then in addition to that, House and Home Video featured multiple projects of mine throughout the year on their social media and digital channels. So it's just been a very, very rewarding goal to accomplish. I have to say this year has been so fulfilling in terms of the types of projects that I've gotten to work on. I really feel like we are expanding kind of our area of expertise in the types of projects that we're taking on, and that leads me to my next goal, which is the types of projects that I wanted to take on. I wanted to get 1 to 2 whole home renovations or new builds, and 4 to 6 at least 1 or 2 floor renovations, and I have gotten those as well. There have been a lot of people who have been like, more Fraser content, get him more kind of integrated in the show. So there is lots of upcoming content with him in it, but I will just give you guys a little bit of a backstory. I don't feature him very much on my Instagram. I wouldn't say he's like a private person, but he doesn't have social media. He sometimes has a burner account that he uses so that he can at least check in on what I'm doing, and then he'll get over Instagram and delete the app and whatever, and then he'll get it back. We'll give you guys a little bit of backstory into Fraser. Him and I met in university. We went to Western. We're friends for the entire duration of university. When we graduated, we were both living in Toronto. We went on a date. Then 6 years later, we got married, and we've got 2 amazing kids. He is in the real estate world, in industrial real estate, and so he kind of has the understanding of, you know, making an investment and making something not only beautiful and desirable, but also something that's timeless and something that is going to hold its value or increase its value over time. Only sometimes we'll say like, whoa, that is not something that I want to do, or that is not something that I want to put in. But to this day, he's yet to actually kibosh something. He's usually pretty game for anything. So there is going to be lots of Fraser content coming up. Fraser also says things sometimes that, like, to me they sound normal, I guess, because I've like heard them for so long, but to other people, we call them Fraserisms. He was talking to one of my friends about like just, you know, getting down to business, and he was like, let's get down to brass tacks. And she was like, what are you talking about? And to me, that was just like such a normal thing.